there are these color palettes by, and I'm not trying to endorse a certain, company, but Sherwin-Williams has paints from all periods. I just think that we could maybe revisit what we're allowing. Sherwin-Williams, and there's also anyway, I'm going to vote for it. I just want maybe us to consider doing some research on historic palette.
We had talked about that before, and then with all this craziness, it got derailed. So
I think we're probably due for
and there's a lot of
workshop
resources just in the 20 minutes ago that I loved. But the one thing that on two different articles that I saw that when you pick your colors, you're supposed to look at the buildings on either side of it. What we don't want to do is create a building in downtown Guthrie that's screaming for attention. Want them to be harmonious. My concern with this when I saw this was like, that's just too green. If it's more of a muted green, that's good. But I do think that we need to. It's been a long time since there's been any discussion on it, and there are resources that provide historic palettes from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, and I think that's something as HP that we should look into.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can put it on the future agenda.
Okay.
Is this, I think he's kind of, I'm not trying to speak for you, Joe, but I think he's saying like it would probably be preferable if the whole thing was more of a darker traditional green. I don't, interior palette maybe, I don't know if this lime green is an exterior period color, is what I think we're trying to say, which is why I was asking. But if it's on the palette now, I can't go, well, I don't think it should be, so I can't. If it's on the palette, it's on the palette. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and I think it would be really great if when people came in to apply, that they knew specifically what.
Because in meetings previously discussed, we had talked about creating a primary, a secondary, and accent color palettes. And so that's we need to come back and circle back around to that conversation. Ow.
All right. So we have a
we have a motion and a second. So Joe Chappell?
Yes.
Aaron Brown?
Yes.
Adam Ropp?
I will technically say yes.
Patrick Kerr?
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau?
Yes.
All right.
When you get that color, be kind.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. HPC application 20008, discussion potential action on a request for certificate of appropriateness for new window signs, SB Skin and Nails, and TNT Hair Studio for building located at 107 South 2nd Street. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, this is signage for a building that's actually just up the street from us here on 2nd Street. It was most recently a spa, and it's going to be again with basically a nail studio and hair studio combined. And so they're looking to have just window signage at this point. Did I say that wrong? Oh, no. They're looking to have window signage at this point. The windows are approximately 4 foot by 8 foot, so a third of that they're looking to use their full allotment of 30%, which is about 10.5 square feet. So their signs are actually going to be about 9 square feet, so it's going to be slightly under the 30% that they're allowed on each window. And if you saw in your staff report, on one side it'll be SB Signs and Nails, and then on the other window it'll be TNT Hair Studio. So one business name on each of the windows. And like I said, that with the application, that's all they're looking for. And even though in the submittal it was black because it's white paper, so it's hard to put white on white, the lettering will be white when they go on the window. And then the one does have the logo that you see that will also appear on the nail part.
It's not that neon.
Yeah.
It is much lighter. It looks crazy up there. I just wanted to. I'm Paige Medlin. I'm the page of SB Skin and Nails, and then we've got Tara and Tori both back here from TNT Hair Studio.
Okay. Were you here before?
Yes, I was here a year ago on June 3rd.
You're moving from the
yes,
little
I
store
am.
across from Short.
Yes.
Yes.
You're on Division?
The unit China
Division.
Garden.
think you do my wife's.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
A lot of green stuff today.
There's a lot of green in
A
there.
lot of green in there going on.
Hurley's Plumbing next door has green too.
Do I have a motion?
Oh, I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
All right, Joe Chappell,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Adam Ropp,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Thank y'all.
and Lynn Bilodeau.
Yes.
All right, 5-0.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. My vote
Got to
doesn't count
4 and she
anyway.
was good.
Hey, game wasn't over, but she's like, we already
My
got,
vote
we're,
doesn't count anyway. It's more like football, not baseball, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's over before
It's-
it's over, right?
game was over, but they're up by 30, so she's confident.
Okay. Thank you. You bet.
Thank you.
HPC application 20009, discussion potential action on a request for certificate of appropriateness for a new bike repair station for the City of Guthrie Tourism Office, located at 308 South Division. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. As you indicated, this is for our city tourism office, which is now over on South Division Street. And if you're standing at the building itself to the right side, there's an area that's kind of on the elevated sidewalk. That's where we're looking to place the bike repair station. It's about 4.5 feet tall and I think only like 18 inches wide, but it's not very wide. About 4.5 feet tall. There will be a 36-inch by 36-inch sign there to show where the bike let them know where the bike repair station is. The actual photo that was submitted in your packet was to give you an idea of what the bike repair station will look like, but the actual one that will be out there will be black or all black. So again, the one that has the red and that on it was just to show you what type of facility, if you want to say, will be. And so with that, I'll go back to the commission.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Fortney?
Since it's him, I have a real problem with this.
I know, right?
Just kidding.
You just start screening
I
these
think,
applicants.
you know, I mean, it's a contemporary piece of equipment. It's a very contemporary building. I think it complements the style and groove of Guthrie. You know.
Okay, sorry.
I think it's kind of cool that it used to be a gas station repair shop. And
Yeah.
it kind of fits the theme a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, the easy part of it is that it's dark. You're saying you're making it black
And
or
then
something.
it'll
So
look
that's
even
what.
cooler with the bike on it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the only one that gets to use this? Or-
Just me.
Justin does this for the town, but it's all for himself.
Is this just
Gonna have a
one?
thumbprint identification light on it?
Is this a one-seater? Is that it?
How does it work?
Basically, on the front of it, it has like two little arms. You kind of lift your bike up, and your bike rests in between the two little arms. It's hard to see on this. If you had a profile of it, my Photoshop skills are pretty awful. Yeah, so see like the two little eyes here? Right there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Those are actually like little arms that go out.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of,
Well, see, this helps a lot now that I know that it's,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
it upside down. I
So
thought he was
are
gonna
you
hang
supposed
it
to-
on the wall.
Oh,
So you
no.
put your bike.
Yeah, no, it's.
Is it just supposed to hold it up and then you can obviously you can like air up your tires or?
yeah, it has like 8 or 9 or 10 different little tools that you can
Oh, nice.
do things with.
Okay.
This is
That's
how
cool.
That's how you do it?
It's like a car lift for a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Don't believe so.
Joe Chappell,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Adam Ropp,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau.
Yes.
All right, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last item, I believe we have a staff report on administrative approval of paint changes for 2 buildings within the historic district. And I also just want to say, a while back. I don't know if this went to all of the commissioners, Mr. Wheeler's
I
legal opinion.
don't think
remember you going to Joe and I.
Yeah,
We had a very, just by way of background, a very brief discussion at the last meeting. There was some question whether the ordinance allowed for an application if it was nothing more than just painting something, that could be administratively approved. And because of the context of where that provision was in the code, I was actually questioning whether it even referenced that or something else. But after reviewing Mr. Wheeler's opinion and reviewing the code, I think that's exactly right. And if we don't like that, just a paint color can be approved administratively, then we probably need to lobby the council to get that changed. If we want that changed, I don't know that I want it changed.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I will add that yes, by ordinance, staff has the ability to administratively approve colors. However, I'll be honest, I don't know if I really want to do that, and I'll go over why these two were an exception. I don't think taking it to the commission is that big a deal. I don't inherently have any issue with it. I think in the realm of the overall cooperation of, staff to commission and just the general, what's good for the historic district in that, I think it's still probably appropriate to take those to the commission for review and approval. I think the option of staff in the code may not be a bad thing for the recent instance that we had. The reason I went ahead and reviewed these two and approved them recently was because obviously the whole COVID-19 has shut down everything from meetings, city hall, and that. And so we had people that were wanting to paint their buildings and they would have had to wait till now. And some of these came in February, I think, or March or April, I don't remember. But they were going to have to wait 2 months essentially to get any decision. So because of that, we went ahead and approved a couple applications. I honestly don't think you'll have much grief with what was approved. I think it was appropriate for the area, and I think it turns out just fine. The one building is done. I do not believe the other building is completely done because it's just down the street. But again, I'll end with that in the future, even for paint, I'm still planning on bringing it back for everybody to look over and review and get a majority on it rather than just us or me.
You mean with city council or who's?
No. What I mean for even when somebody down the road applies for paint to have a paint change or paint, I'm still going to bring it to the commission.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
As was indicated, technically by the code, staff has the administrative approval. I'm just willing to, and again, for kind of the cooperative effort and kind of have everybody give their thoughts, we can bring it to the commission and have it reviewed at the commission and approved. Again, these two, because of the special circumstances that we're in, went ahead and approved, so neither of the applicants had to wait 2 or 3 months to get a decision.
And neither one of them was lime green.
No, they were not. There was no green in either of those.
Just
Well,
saying.
the other thing is that provision is clearly permissive and not mandatory. It doesn't say that only the staff can administratively. It's
Yes,
just they may do it, and it
Yes.
doesn't say under what circumstances. So-
Yes, you are absolutely right. It doesn't say staff shall or shall not. It just says may. So,
I don't know if this is the time or whatever. I'll just say it. I'll go on the record of saying I really think the colors should still come to the commission. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
don't have a
trust that.
problem with
I can see how he would want that to happen too.
yeah, I don't have a
I
problem
mean,
with
who
that.
wants,
Who wants to be
Who wants to be-
one
You want hot pink?
Well, no,
Packer?
right. I mean, to be honest with you, that's part of it. It's like even at the planning commission, a lot of times, it's like I throw it to them and say, you guys decide. In that. So that's the thing. It's not that big of a deal. And because, especially with the Historic Preservation Commission and the shorter timelines for advertising and applications getting in, it usually is a lot easier to get those to the commission than like the planning commission, where you have a 30-day window before the meeting to apply and things like that. So it's easier to get them to the commission without holding, if you want to say, the public a lot of time.
Oh, well, under the circumstances, I totally agree and understand. I'm just saying in general,
Yes.
I didn't know if we were wanting to just generally nuke that whole
No.
idea. And I was just
I
saying,
think we should leave things how they were. It's
Yeah, I
just a
agree.
good option to have that in, again,
Sure.
instances like this, we have that ability.
yeah, you got to move forward, got to make kind of more quick
Yeah.
decisions, yeah.
One of the things, and this is just something that we can talk about, and when we do get to talk about colors, the Historic New England, they have color charts of historic paint collections with different architectural styles and different time periods, which could be looked at. And in Bedford, Massachusetts, they ask applicants to bring paint, not only the chip, but they ask them to bring the paint color on wood, because oftentimes the color changes.
Changes, yeah.
So there, and like I said, I haven't done a lot of research on this,
Oh,
but
yeah, there you go.
there you go, like that. So that's something we might consider.
Dan, what do we need to do to actually go ahead and go with what Aaron was saying, where we need to finish up deciding on nailing down colors and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, and real quick, we're probably getting a little off the subject, but,
Yeah, just-
but real quick, there's a couple things that I think is a concern. And my biggest concern was taking a existing palette and saying, this is all you can do. Meaning taking Ace Hardware and their palette and say, this is all you do. Because there's a lot of other companies that have historic colors, and I don't think we can or want to get to where we say you have to go to a certain manufacturer, because it's not fair to the rest. However, we can generalize or have similar type color schemes to where it can be adopted. So again, whether it's Sherwin-Williams, whether it's Ace, whether it's Home Depot, whatever, it would be a color that could fit in there in that. And so if we go that route, I don't think it's that bad of a thing to have, say, this is the primary colors, this is secondary colors, or that. I just don't want to go down a road where we pick a specific brand and say that's all you can do.
I don't care about brand. I mean,
Yeah, no, right.
you know,
But it would be nice, like when they come in to apply,
right.
to tell them, if you pick these colors as a primary color, you're not going to have any problem.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to try something else, you may not have a problem either. You can still,
Yeah. Because in the past, too, they've gone, well, here's the color palette. And I look at it and I go, like, I don't want to pass that. And it's not because I don't like it personally. I just don't think it fits the period.
well, and one of the things in this short time I was reading, they keep talking about that you don't want loud, garish colors.
Yeah.
And so how do you decide what that is?
Right.
Lime green, yes. This, not so much. Anyway, it's just something that since I've been on HP, and I
Yeah.
don't know, it's been
And-
3 or
and
4 years,
as-
we've been talking about visiting that.
Yeah, and as was indicated, we'll probably have a workshop in the near future
And
to
it would be
discuss
nice to
that.
have some historical resources from just, besides paint.
I'd almost rather, the way I feel about it personally, the way I'm inclined, I would rather like approve something that's modern with the right color than something that's that's 120 years old, that's hot pink. I mean, I'm not saying that we've approved hot pink. I'm just saying the
No, I
colors
understand.
really stick out
Yeah.
with, so anyway.
Okay, so everybody go around town and take a picture of their favorite building and email it to me
For what?
for the color palettes. Your favorite building. They're the color
Oh, shoot,
palettes.
mine's the best color palette.
Yours is the best?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, whatever. No, hey, I've got a good color palette. I got the dark green and the red brick,
It's just
the white,
bright,
yeah.
obtrusive colors.
Yeah.
That on the 3 different sites I saw, that's not what you want to have in a historic district, so.
Right, agreed.
We just need to decide what's bright and obtrusive and let them do anything else.
Right.
But I think these look nice. The gray looks really nice too on this one. What was that building before? I couldn't remember.
Yellow.
Oh, yeah, that, I mean,
Like,
anything,
what the
Yeah.
business that was in it. for a
Oh,
long
I don't
time.
remember. The building was,
Lily's.
Lily's?
Lily's
Yeah.
Drugstore.
Okay, I knew it was a drugstore of some sort, but I couldn't remember, but it looks
Yeah,
really
like,
nice, it's
way
great.
back.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's how the that is a redo of the original design of the
Yeah.
wooden structure that was there.
So I think they look really nice.
Agreed.
Any commissioner comments?
I mean, even the original colors were historic too. Yellows from the teens.
Only comment I'd like to make is, want to remember James Hensley.
Absolutely.
We lost not just a member of the commission when James passed, but a great member of the community, and he'll be sorely missed.
I second that.
James Hensley passed away.
Was it the virus?
No.
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 He had a long time
Yeah.
issue.
But it was early May.
Yeah.
That, when he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we,
One other thing I'd like to say, if
I didn't say adjourn fast enough, did
if the
I?
commissioners are aware of this, but I want to commend Dan on the work that he's doing
Absolutely.
in all areas, but primarily in the new design standards for the city of Guthrie. And Dan and staff, I don't know who all was involved in it, but they picked out areas of town where there's primarily historic structures, and they're trying to make infill property complement infill so that we don't have, a ranch-style house go in next to a colonial home. And it's not for all of Guthrie. It was, from what I've seen, it's very well thought out, and the city council has a committee working on it now. So, thank you for that.
yeah,
Well,
Dan,
and I
that's
tell
good.
you, for a town the size of Guthrie, we're really blessed to have some of the staff we have. We just are.
Dan, you're gonna have a good week.
I appreciate
Walk away with a good
I
week.
tell you what, every time I deal with, and every time I've had any dealings with anybody from Justin to Aaron, Charles Downey, Dan, Mike, and every time I try to remember to say, appreciate you guys and appreciate all the guys at the city. So,
Yeah, Dan, just remember this, they're giving you lip service, but I'm the only one that brought you ice cream.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Well noted.
Okay, and with that, that's the last
Wait, did-
comment. We are adjourned.